Thank you, Don. Good afternoon, good evening, bienvenidos, one and all. People are still coming into the room. What a wonderful, wonderful crowd we've assembled here for today for Cultivating Voices live poetry. It's the 1st of December, and it's the first reading for December. And of course, we are here for our Poets Focus. And today, our theme is wonder. Honestly, the anthology that kind of inspired this reading is an anthology that's edited by James Cruz. And James Cruz, it's called The Wonder of Small Things, Poems of Peace and Renewal. Uh, James Cruz will be with us in our 2025 season with, he has a box set of 3 of his amazing, amazing anthologies. Perhaps some of you are in the anthologies. But that is kind of our inspiration for today's Poets Focus, our theme on wonder. We are already to our waiting list. We have a really, really abundant group already assembled for our featured readers. The first 12 will be reading for 5 minutes apiece, and then we'll head to our waiting list to get to our 90 minutes. We'll get to as many of you as possible. If you're interested in reading in the open mic and you're just joining us, you are still very welcome to put your name in the chat as you would like me to announce it. We'll get to as many of you as possible. No guarantees, folks, but I'll do my best. Well, I just want to say thank you all for arriving today from wherever you've been arriving. Here in the States, of course. We've just had a holiday that some of us celebrate, not everyone. And it's a very dynamic time as we're entering all around the world this season of light. I couldn't think of a better theme to begin our season of light than with the theme of wonder. Again, 5 minutes for our first 12 readers, and then we go to the waiting list. Just a few housekeeping notes. A reminder that our chat is live, and if you are utilizing the chat, we also have a open policy of you can utilize the private chat feature. Please do be respectful both in your private and your public chat, and we encourage you to use the public chat to, send your love and encouragement and light and all that good stuff to our readers for today. And if you are using the private chat, do keep in mind that once we publish the chat, which we do share with folks from time to time, that becomes a public document. So please do be sure that whatever you're sharing with someone in the private chat, that it is publicly consumable. Finally, I want to remind you that if you feel like in this wondrous Poets Focus on Wonder that you might need to provide, that there may be some content in your poem that would require a content notice for the good of our whole group, for people being able to make a decision about whether they might want to mute regarding the content of your poem, please do provide a content notice. And those are pretty usual things that a reasonable person would understand would require a content notice, usually like violence or different issues. I'm not going to go through the list, but please do provide a content notice as you see fit, and as you see fit to assure the safety of and respect of other people in the room. Well, what a beautiful crowd we have here today. And before Don Krieger leaves, I want to just give a shout out to Don and to Kim Ports Parsons for the support of the program. Don's going to be heading out to do another engagement, a reading on War and Peace in another Zoom room. So he'll be leaving. You'll see him leave the room very shortly. But nonetheless, all of us are here assembled for our Poets Focus on the theme of wonder. We'll go right to our first 12 features. And first up is Bill Nevins joining us from somewhere maybe in New Mexico.
But thank you so much, Sandy and everybody. So good to be here, even though these are troubling times. I have three short poems I'm going to read, and they can all be found in my collection, which is being published early this coming year by Sligo Creek Publishers of Maryland. Great respect to them. First poem. Awe, wonder in the dead of winter. For Jeannie. Why cry on the 1st of May for snow and a melted holiday? Those days caught in the old snapshots are these days. They are today, not then. They are all one. They are all now. Kids and flowers, hills and rivers. Nostalgia is a bore. Waste time. Dreaming of some other then that is no more. Be here now. Old man's quip. It's now when? Your smile, tears, shock at being seen now and again. My laughter behind the shutter, here behind my own eye. Your eyes, that sunrise, it's how it is. It is. We are then as we are now. I forgot I was wearing my shades. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a beatnik. All right, now this poem, yeah, I think there is possibly a warning to be told because it does address issues of violence and murder. There we are. The poem is dedicated to Musab Abu Toha and Paul Catafago and all the relations. Mitakaye OS, yes, and this bleak sadness and wonder of poetry. This bleak sadness brings with its acceptance the question of disappointment, the question of how long, the wonder of how life feels, how life fails, as the Israelis do murder in Gaza. As the poets squabble over awards, money, grants, and recognition, placement on the page, as the Israelis do murder in Gaza. An American poet says, he is just not in the mood for unpleasantness or mischief. These latter days of thanks, these days of bombs and tanks, as the Israelis do murder in Gaza. A Palestinian poet tells of his 7-year-old niece who died when the Israelis did murder in Gaza. Her smiling picture lights his cell phone as the Israelis do murder in Gaza. And when will the sadness end? And when will the rain of poems and blood desist? When, oh when will the Israelis cease their murder in Gaza? And this poem, Siberia and the wonderment of poetry. I wonder, wonder who wrote the book of love. For the commissars of poetry. I dreamt I was Comrade Yevtushenko, dodging or schmoozing the KGB. I dreamed that I joined the State Poetry Society, meetings every Tuesday with cold old pizza and Schlitz. While they defined rhyme schemes, I got the shits. They cut my wrists and sucked real hard, and then they sent me a membership card. You're one of us now, lad. Blood in, blood out. We love you and your pantoums. Of that, there's no doubt. It was better than the gulag, I guess, but then, Tavarici, it got much worse. I dreamt I was Mayakovsky, and the versifier Soviet guild caught me, made me pay dues to spit out true anti-capitalist NL Stalinist poetry. So I composed a sonnet about Allen Ginsberg's shoe, illegal mezcal, perestroika, and Gorbachev's head tattoo. Then the dream ended of a sudden, and I dozed off anew. Slept so well, friends. I woke up wrapped in an ice blue haiku. Thank you.
That is Bill Nevins starting us off on our Poets Focus today in our themed open mic on the theme of wonder, and managed to get the word wonder in all three of those poems. I also have to say, any poem that mentions Mayakovsky. Mayakovsky is one of my favorite poets of all time. I don't think I've ever talked about Mayakovsky. So bravo, bravo. And folks, I also hope that I met Mossab Abu Toha earlier this summer, and I do hope maybe we'll be able to get Mossab onto the program in the 2025 season. We'll see how he's going. You know, he's on the cover right now of Poets and Writers, actually. So I think he's a very busy individual. But we'll see what we can do. Thank you so much, Bill, for starting us off. Well, we go over to Marjorie Maddox. Hello, Marjorie. So great to see you. And thank you for your reading in our 2024 season. Much earlier this year, but I think of it often, actually.
Oh, it was a joy to be there, and to be here today. I also am going to read three poems. Oh boy, I don't think that even shows up from this book. And this is an ekphrastic poem that is after a photograph by Karen Elias, and it's an image of a heart-shaped stone in the middle of a kind of dark forest with light shining on it and moss and lichen. But I think it kind of speaks to maybe how some of us feel today. Heart, lichen, stone. This is what they know, the dip into frigid, the shadowed shelter of cave, the beauty of decay at dusk, at dawn, the tattooed rays of one more orbit of sun, of earth around a sun that says, hold on, hold on, hold on. And they want to, and they do, and they will, lingering a little longer beneath the open branches of forest, beside the cool stream of hope, waiting for you, for me, for whoever stumbles first down the long path, calling their names. And the second poem is based on a time I was driving south to Virginia, very steep, a little nerve-wracking, going down some icy roads, and then something I saw. Thunderstorm with mountains. What is foreground and background shifts by the minute, repositions us in, out of the landscape we drive toward, away from. Between temperate and turbulent, downpour and fog, the world is still storm. What we can't see finally settles beside us, mist swelling up the mountain as mystery and folly, as no choice but to creep, breaks on, down, and look, the sky, praise be. And the last is a seasonal poem, since this is the first day of Advent, Traveling Man. He was just some Joseph looking for a manger. Leonard Cohen, Stranger Song. 70-plus sandal-stepping, donkey-plodding miles to that hilltop town on a ridge near the edge of a desert spread with the disbelief of all his neighbors. No gambler, though that's what the others claim. And yet this Joseph, even after the catcalls of no room, and still convinced of the predestined roll of dice chrismated with miracle, keeps walking with his, not his, woman, forever strangers in this hometown that will not welcome them, will not lay them down to sleep. The midnight music merely cows lowing, merely the jazzy constellation of stars. Thanks.
Beautiful poems from Marjorie Maddox. Wow, we're already 6 poems in with 2 readers. Fantastic. I yeah, thank you for mentioning Advent. I wanna let folks know what I'm seeing on Facebook. There's quite a few postings about poetry Advent calendars where you can get a poem a day on that Advent calendar. Yeah, so be on the lookout. We'll try to post those. I'll try to post those, share those over to Cultivating Voices as I see them. But yeah, I've been seeing quite a few of those. So thank you so much, Marjorie. We will move now over to David Brydges over there in Canada. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, Sandy. Hello, everyone. I'll be adding 1 poem to today's collective collection of wonderments. Wonders is a necessary blood transfusion of astonishment when the habitual hangs around too long. Remindful. Oh, how the day begins with routine entangling wonder with invisible chains. This mild, forgetful trance would embed itself unless prompted by something or someone who can cut those links to what is lost. My poet-painter friend Jill asks on Facebook, things you're grateful for that are things, not people, you use every day. Immediately write in the comment box, a beauty hunter's toolkit, breathing clean northern air, art on walls, ravens' calls, and corners for unexpected wonders to meet and mate. Like a Mary Oliver poem on being mindful, where she reflects, every day I see or hear something that more or less kills me with delight, like a needle in the haystack of light. I'm dying a little, surrounded by old metal falling to the ground. Lightness grows like news of next spring. And what was ordinary is still ordinary, but has a secret smile that reminds the wakeful. Treasures are everywhere, as a feral heart, unanchored, travels in wild wonderment, seeing what is freshly fresh in the flesh. Sorry about that.
Thank you so much, David Brydges. Wow, I love the idea of wonder and astonishment cohabitating, and also that idea of remindfulness, not just mindfulness. Fantastic. Thank you so, so much. Well, we move now to Mary Louise Kiernan, and I believe you have rivaled me with your hat today. You get the hat prize.
Am I the only one who got the memo? Next time.
Hats always welcome on this program.
Yeah, it was a little chilly out there today. Dashed in. So I have 1 poem to read, and just as some background information for perhaps those who do not know, I do have dual Irish-American citizenship. And the second thing is that because I do have the dual citizenship, I was accepted into a gallery press poetry workshop, and I workshopped this poem that I'm going to read. And the last thing is that the pub that is mentioned in the poem is the White House in Limerick. Your wallet for grandfather John Joseph Kiernan. Your wallet's leather lacing nearly intact, the brown leather fold worn to a tan, both sides embossed with reliefs of horse-drawn carriages, ovals depicting a capped driver poised at attention as a passenger reclines against a tufted seat. Gold-stamped imprints embellish supple suede-like compartments titled notes and stamps with symbols for paper pounds. Within one pocket adorned with a harp and shamrocks, a darkened, broken rosary slides out, too old to have ever been yours new. Unfolding your wallet in my palms feels like the opening of a missal bound by questions. Was your now worn and weary wallet a parting gift for the leaving to America? Opened in cove to prove your cash on hand, tucked inside the breast pocket of your wedding suit, tapped on while murmuring your mea culpas, secured at the city hospital after your rail yard accident, inventoried by Bronx police after you fell. All matters not for now at this pub where I raise up the billfold stowed within my crossbody travel bag during my passage from America to Ireland. And I wonder, are you as glad as I to be home again? Thank you.
Oh, that's a great poem of duality from Mary Louise Kiernan. There
And
it
here
is.
is the wallet.
There's the wallet. Oh my gosh. I love it when we have props. I love props in poetry. So props to poetry and props to props with poetry. Thank you very much. I'm sure there's more than a few people in here who are wishing they had dual citizenship at this stage. Thank you. Well, we move now to Michael Macklin O'Mara. Very good to see you today. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Sandy. I'm always thrilled when I have something that remotely resembles the theme. Wonderland. Come, live and wonder that will live in dark and light, in beige and gray, frocked in dull habit, in mottled sense and marbled sensuality, in mutable sunsets, in thoughts like smoke, in stark, eye-narrowing yellow-white noon-tide, blue-white glints of the blackening night. Come, live in memory, in violet maelstroms of memories, moments lost, instinctively clutching, stripped into flumes of possibility. In crimson, wanton, rampant, riotous, irrepressibly wild, with umbrous domestication, dainty primrose, absent green, opaque, onion-layered, crisp, peeling bark, shop and slivers of glittering flint, and the promise of rainbowed, walk with me, transparency. Come, live in fading doubt of whitewashed expectations, with hopes prismatic, shimmering, watercolored, pasteled, though still bordered with bold, ruot fear. Come, live in grief, covet and grieve the silverous, bubbling, uncontained. Come, live in joy, I swear, within loneliness, the true color of time, within these chafing skins. And while I choose to live in wonder, and while I wonder where you'll live, come.
Oh, that is the poem. Wonderland, Wonderland. Wonderland. I would say you were not remote. I would say you were on point, Michael. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, beautiful poem. So many beautiful lines there. Yeah, and folks, be sure to look in the chat, of course. We have a long and true tradition of our chat being very robust with just repeating your lines and sharing the love. So it's pretty abundant today already. And as you're listening, those of you who might be watching us live on Facebook or on YouTube, you're joining us here on Cultivating Voices live poetry. And today it's our Poets Focus on the themed open mic. Our theme today is wonder. And there has been plenty of it so far. And now we move over to Gary Lucero. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, thank you. This is from my second book, which will come out in February, called The Unknown Race. And this one's called Love. It does have some allusions to violence at one point. Love has no boundaries. It doesn't care if you're rich or poor, nor if you're smart or dumb, and it has no care for beauty. It is unable to distinguish. It's blind and deaf, and while we find reasons to judge, it reserves its judgment. What it demands is faith, a belief that it is real, a knowledge in the absolute, and a reason to be. And while we fritter away our lives, it is resolute, unable to change, unwilling to conform, never faltering. And so we stand in awe with knowledge that it can transform our lives, take us from nothing and make us supreme, vanquish all evil and make us whole again, turn us into kings and queens. But it's just as likely to curse us as it is to bless us, dash our bodies against the rocks, strangle us, stab us in the back, set us on fire and let us die ablaze, leave us for dead. It's fickle in its power, in its ability to change us, to enslave us, to make us feel alive, and to make us wish we were dead. It's a parasite upon humanity, and yet we wish for its presence. We dream of its embrace. We call out its name in hope that it hears us, in hope that it finds our hearts open for its blessings. Not that it will ever make sense. There's no rhyme, no reason, no calculating its rhythms, no understanding its ways. We just know that it may one day find us, and we hope when it does, that it brings happiness and joy.
Well, I can relate to just about every word in that poem. My good friend Cece Arshagra says, love is like indivisible. And yeah, that poem had all those prismatic elements of love. Thank you and congratulations on the new book, which is a great reminder, folks. Please do also use the chat to announce your upcoming publications, maybe upcoming readings that you're having. As we're heading into the new year, feel free to use the chat to do that today, as well as show your love and encouragement for the poetry that you're hearing here on Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. Well, we head over to our dear, dear beloved friend, Isaac Cohen.
Dear Sandy, dear Kim, dear Dawn, dear all my friends in the world. Today I read some poems. 1. Love. I lost my mind in your eyes. Now it lives in your heart. And the second, alcohol, a balloon of hope. The child saw a balloon of hope. He catches the balloon and flies with it to inform all the children in the world. Can you send me many balloons for adults? And the third, Isaac Cohen. This poem dedicated for my mother, Cohen Mazal, blessed memory. The virtue of Jasmine. Dear Jasmine, your color is pure like wings of angels. Your fragrance with them bless the scent of peace. How amazing to put you on my hair and sense the peace rolling the world. All the babies cheer around. Seedling of peace grow and cover the universe. And the fourth is a beautiful poem, Wonder. Other Cohen, the beauty of friendship. The glorious lotus bloomed in the center of the field. Around it grew some flowers. Suddenly, an evil man walked behind her and plucked some petal from the lotus. All the flowers cried, including the lotus. Her flower friends bowed their heads. They gave the lotus some petal, some petals. They fastened the petal hair to with love. You can now see new beauty in the field. Friendship overcomes all evil. Thank you, Isaac Cohen, Israel. And there was some good news because there was a break of fire in the border with Lebanon, and I hope that will be a break of fire in the southern of Israel, and to live in peace, because God tell live and make only culture. Thank you, Isaac.
Yes, indeed. Isaac Cohen, bringing that message of peace, always bringing that message of peace. Dare I say, folks, every time I see a balloon now, I'm going to think of the balloons of hope and peace. Every time, and I see balloons in, different places. So I encourage you to breathe in that poem of Isaac's. And when you see balloons, think of peace, and think of how we can do what we can in our spheres to continue to spread that message, to spread those balloons of hope. Thank you so much, Isaac. Be well. We'll see you soon. Well, next, Patricia Clark, who I believe has a new collection coming out as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I do. It looks like this. It's
called Oh Lucky Day. And I think there's a little bit of upbeat in the midst of admittedly a dark time. And if there's a content warning, there's a little bit of nudity in here and a little sexiness, and I hope that's not ruled out, Sandy. um, 3 poems. This one is called Each Day I Undress, and the title rolls into the first line. Each day I undress a clementine using my small green ceramic knife, a ritual the morning needs to be complete. I sit and look out, light a candle against darkness and despair, peel off the thick, pebbly skin to get down to fruit. Then, pulling apart sections, discarding the pith of or any stringy bits, I slowly place each wedge in my mouth. I become a tongue, a being that tastes, relishing the juice, feeling thin membranes yield. For those few minutes, I think of nothing, inhabiting taste buds and mouth. It's how I train myself to disappear into the shagbark hickory, the scarred maple, the viburnum just about to flower. In the moment, I'm inside one of its buds, branch tip quivering, a tight knot of white and red, knuckle size, a coiled energy about to burst into petaled pale balls, most likely tomorrow, wafting their scent toward our bedroom windows that I've left carelessly open, letting each particle of scent in. And another one about oysters, and you know the famous qualities of oysters, I think. There's a really cool store here that has a seafood Sunday, seafood weekend, and they bring fresh oysters and they'll shuck them for you and put them in a container and label it all, and they're only like $3 an oyster, so it's pretty great. So this is called Aphrodisiacal. Open me like an oyster. Yes, it involves a knife and some risk. Take your time, love, and wear a protective mitt. Admire all my shades of gray and black. Drink the juices from my shell, savoring the salinity. Swallow any bits of grit or shell, not worrying they will harm you. Use a fork and dip me whole into pale mignonette sauce. How I love its acid notes, red wine vinegar, black pepper, minced shallots. When I found that recipe, I wanted oysters every week. To your credit, you indulged me. Isn't that the best marriage? Indulge me again, ever so slowly. Use your mouth, your flexible tongue. Once you've warmed me, juices rising, anything becomes possible. Notice how we go out of the world together, riding a wave of flesh, warmth, holy water that our bodies create as one. Discover all the openings that do not usually gap so wide. There is nowhere else we need to be. Bow at the altar of our commingling. Do this again and again in the name of all the seas we come from. I'm a West Coast person, though I live now in Michigan, and I think the Pacific Ocean is definitely the superior ocean. Sorry about the Atlantic, but the Pacific is, I don't know, I shouldn't get into rivalry that way.
Yeah, I don't know about ocean rivalry here. I might have to stop ocean.
I know that's a trigger warning too. And I should have said thank you to Sandy and to Kim and all of you for listening. It's just wonderful to hear some poems on a cold December morning or afternoon. So thank you. I'm going to close with one called Home Astronomy. When we came back together to sleep in the lavender room, same bed, there was a subtle realignment of the stars.
planets, Milky Way. If you remain still, you'll hear the whole house shift and sigh, walls and doors, windows, window screens, chest the dog lies beside at the foot of the bed. If we were bricks, now mortar is in place, hardening. Don't we use celestial bodies to navigate our world? Somehow we used to. Then clouds rolled in, obscuring them, and we couldn't see to see. In college, I built a telescope from foil, cardboard tubes, tape, and glue. Did it work? See us in sleep? My hand steers from his hip. Thank you.
That's Patricia Clark bringing the sexiness to the program today. Thank you very, very much. There's no, yeah, we don't hold back on that here on Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. If you're just joining us, it is our Poets Focus today on our themed open mic, our first reading of December, on December 1st, on our theme of wonder. And I do have to say, it has been wondrous so far. Kim's nodding her head. That's when I know we're in the lane that we're supposed to be in. Well, I know we're in for more wonder, because every time Lynda V E Crawford reads, it's wonder, no matter what it is. So take it away, Lynda. Great to see you. Thanks for being with us.
Oh, it's so wonderful to be here. Thank you. Yeah, so I have two poems. And now that I think about it, I'll say maybe the first is wonder, the noun, and the second is more like wonder, the verb. But both of these poems are in my collection. It just got released in October, called Wash in Water, published by World Stage Press. So I'm amazed that I can find these two poems that I think, yeah, these work for this theme. So this first one, spent my entire life from the age of 3, first having Coke bottle glasses and eyeglasses, and then contact lens, but I've never been without something in or on my eyes until I had cataract surgery. And this zany first poem stems from that. Right, from a world of thinking I could see everything to truly seeing everything with surgery. You ask me to rewrite rhymes and fairy tales. To such, I can't devote my cherished twinkling time. Tomorrow, you will want a gibberish of rhymes, and next, you'll vex me with your glee. Ask me to reimagine an undefeated Dumpty Humpty. I say, shoo fly, don't bother me. I am in glow of my new cataract surgery, my right eye in love and awe of how I now see. How now, brown cow? Oh, no, siree, don't distract me. Don't turn my head upside down with a cup of that cocoa tea. Follow my hand as I stretch it lightly up into the blue. Float after my fingers tingling in softened cumulus dance, a beckoning. Let half of me run, twirl, and spin and curl inside the sky as never danced before. See bright dimensions unimagined, the other half of me in idle rest, flat upon the beach in grins, squish of toes in sand. If all the seas were one sea, what a great big sea that would be. So many cockles and tiny shells for Sally to sell by the shore. Is that a hint of orange glow, a sway of eyes framed, a peak of dancing red and blue of flame? As I direct my aim, ignite a pot of gas boiled wet, a steeped chrysanthemum, tea more crimson than a song of ocean waves forever crashing. I cannot swim a fairy tale. Island girls back then not taught to swim, nor boys jumped into the sea and moved like fish and never drowned. Adolphus, Adolphus, gimme peace, I gotta tell you what happened. Papi kill him, Papi kill him. I will tell it all in time, time in tea and deeper, newer eyes. For now, don't speak to me of reinventing nursery rhymes. That's the end of the first poem. Some say it might have brought on from the drugs from cataract surgery, but who knows? And this second poem is called A Granddaughter Forming. Did you ever inhale, look into the eyes of your grandchild still becoming? See 3 relatives, 4 ancestors, Lola Nanai, flicker by, in, out. Hear them murmur and wonder. Are they contemplating, debating, agreeing which one of us will settle in for a moment, for a while? Which one will sort out her walk, how her elbow will akimbo, whose tint of voice will enter, stay, deepen, when her bambo's birthmark, that strawberry blush rise on her belly, will fade into her great granny's departed timbre of voice and spirit, how her not yet known Mangaapo will sing, how her agogo now cradling her, and so many loving duppies, spirits, sitting together, legs outstretched on mat of straw, will shape her, keep her safe. Did you ever look wonderstruck in recognition, and in that instant see into her universe and say, darling, your smile, just for a moment, I saw your grand aunt, your Lola Beahi. End of poem. Thank you.
Just absolutely wonderful, as my mother just said off camera. Wonderful. And I also love any poem that has the word wonderstruck in it. Wonderstruck. Wow, folks, thank you. That's Lynda V E Crawford. The new book is here, or is arriving. Please do look for it. Please do feel free to put folks, any of you with your new books, please do put those in the chat, whether they're just arrived or in pre-order. Let us know so we can support you in kind. And yeah, we are here at Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. Today it is our first reading of the month of December on December 1st, and it is on the theme of wonder. I don't know about you, Kim, but I don't know that I feel like we've ever had a theme where so many of the poets have had the actual word in the poem. She's shaking her head. That says it all. Thank you. Kate Hannah Ortega, you are up. I am so happy to see you, of course. And always love when you bring a poem. And I look forward to seeing you in February in Bellingham. So let's hear what you have for us today.
Okay, so this is the beginning of the first poem. It's called Gastropods and Bivalves, after Harriet Mullen. As a child, the refrain of shoulders back, of stand up straight, of imagine a thread strung through the top of your head. What was I always curling into? No one ever asked why I leaned insistently, inwardly. With strain, I could unfold my spine, though my riddles would be paper thin. The saddened hurt would not slink off until I let my back furl in again. Towards who am I furling? Any one who moves like roly-poly, like armadillo, like porcupine, touch me not. My body is shaping itself like cyclone, like mollusk, like chrysalis, rehearsing the wings of a dove. Maybe upright has stung me because I was raised by coiling beings, by the wall plug crackle of my grandmother's spiral corded telephone, by the riptide sending me into undersea whirl, by sharpening imperial violet and yellow simply to gather their cycling shreds. Our birth promise was to change shape, fibrous, angular, puffy, pale, gaunt, glowy, pinpricked, and toothless. My shapes are ancient and still some days turn me shy.
Poem. That is a great poem. I love it. Again, any poem that has roly-poly in it gets my vote also. Roly-poly. Yeah. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Kate. I'm gonna see someone that a beloved of yours in Minneapolis later this week. I will send my regards. Off to California, I believe now. The one and only Karen Poppy. And maybe Kitty is there.
Kitty is not here today. I'm in
Okay.
Lake Tahoe, so
Oh, okay.
Kitty is in a warmer place right now. I'm surrounded by snow, which is its own form of wonder. Other than the black ice that I so gracefully skated on yesterday, going down, but gracefully got back up, just a little bit bruised. Anyway, thanks for having me, Sandy and Kim. I have 2 poems today. The first one's an older one, and the second one I wrote this week. The first one is titled What We Find. See this morning a flattened pewter, hard and uncompromising, waves frozen, unmoving, beach combed of all shells, pebbles, a barren wasteland of sand, driftwood scorched and scarred by now dead fires. Off in the distance, a whale breaches, spouts its salty intake, dives back under, the only thing that can break these strong waters as it does, the only thing that can sing its unique song, the unique song that each of us sings, not on the surface, not in the light, but there in the deep, there in the darkness, to find our own direction, our own voice, each other, to sing uniquely but not alone. Eerie electricity, connection, everything is the right choice. The second poem comes with some content warning, so people who need to mute right now, it has some violence and also description of a totalitarian regime. It's titled, I Still Dream. When I wake up lost and crying and bruised, I still dream of a stela. When I have no one and no one is here but the guards, I still dream of a stela. When a rough and angry crowd stomps and cheers their leader, I still dream of a stela. When they march through the Capitol impervious to federal troops, I still dream of a stela. When they no longer storm the Capitol because the capital is theirs. I still dream of a stela. I still dream of a stela. In these dreams, I can disappear without being made to disappear. Sun anointing us, kisses on each cheek, light dazzled plaza. I still dream of a stela. When I wake up in solitary again and again, walled in by concrete and their ideology, I still dream of a stela.
Beautiful, beautiful poems. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, you cast me right back to October 10th when we were all together in that beautiful, beautiful bookstore. Kim and you.
That was the best.
The best. We'll do it again. We'll do it again.
And also Indran, one of the editors of my Press Beltway editions, was there to read. I do want to say
Cynthia Adkins there.
That's right. And I wanted to give a shout out to Beltway Editions that I think that they have up to 15 titles now to choose from. I'll put my own link in the chat that goes to Beltway Editions as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and indeed, Indran did post to Cultivating Voices. They are having a holiday sale. So please do, please do. Please do. This is the season of giving, my friends. This is the season of giving. I mean, I think any season is a season of giving, but this amplifies it a little bit. And I think, of course, what better gifts than poetry? Every day. Poetry is a gift to me. I suspect the same is true of you. So let's spread the love of poetry as much as we can during the season of light. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. I'm going to be contacting you very soon for a little, chat. All right, we're to our final of our featured readers, and then we're really going to try to get through everybody on the open mic. We'll do our best. We'll do our best. Joanne James, so great to see you. Yay. I love it when I get to hear one of your poems, or maybe more than one.
Yeah, it's so good to be with everyone. It's just been so rough the last month. We needed wonder. And what I did was, I searched in my drive with the word, and 10 poems came up. Well, I'm going to read this one, and it's called Oye Como Va, or Why is Carlos Santana So Cool? 1. When I lived up Porter Gulch Road on Hudson Lane, 40 acres of oak forest, bobcat, deer, and deer ticks, outdoor shower, sometimes with banana slugs on the wood slats, hummingbird zipping in and out of the shower spray, PG&E man coming to check the meter, tried to avert eyes, smiling. Owned by snob lesbian realtor who came through my studio to a laundry room with disregard. I walked up the hill to invoke my shamanic protector that turned out to be a vision of a bird-headed goddess. There was Carlos Santana's mansion right on the hill. We were neighbors, but I never saw him. 2. I met Rico on the Seabright 7 bus. He sat down next to me with his guitar and told me he'd played with Santana, who was coming down from the city to jam. Did I want to come? I'd seen Rico playing on Pacific Ave. When he saw me, he used to yell, "Boogie on, reggae woman," maybe because of my patchwork hat. He was beat, always smiling, but I told him I was married and showed him my gold band. 2 days later, I was walking on the corner from our house past Rico's and heard the best guitarist ever jamming. Could it be? No doubt it was Carlos Santana, and I had said I was married. Carlos Santana, Abraxas, Metatron. This was the Santa Cruz cosmic crossroads of the universe, and that's not a cliche. I didn't believe Rico when he told me you were his friend. In our lives, we trip travel below the surface, strength like guitar, electric guitar, true grace like a World Series win, keeping score in a fabulous, immaculate ball game. Remember what Carlos Santana said when he played the national anthem? This is a holy place. And he meant our ballpark, our wilderness, our tie-dyed wonder. It ends in wonder.
Not only does it have wonder in it, it ends with wonder. Yeah, I feel like now you've answered the question that I've always wanted answered. Why is Carlos Santana so cool? I grew up with my dad listening to Santana. It took 60 years to figure out the riddle. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Folks, this is what happens when we bring the wonder in. This is what happens when we bring the wonder in. I can't take all the credit for it. I have to give most of all the credit to, for me, that woman in the square, a couple squares over in our Hollywood squares here, Kim Ports Parsons. There she is. Kim often comes up with themes. She does a great job, obviously. Well, we're moving over to the waiting list. One poem, everybody. One poem. If you go to a second poem, I will have to do the thing I don't like to do. So please don't make me do the thing I don't like to do. And that is to get everybody in today, if we can do it. So without further ado, let's go to the waiting list. And we get to hear first from Gordon Ferris. Hi, Gordon.
Good evening. I haven't been here now in a good while now, and my daughter was sick, so, and this is a piece that I wrote for her as I sat by her bedside when she was sleeping. It's unfinished. There's no title on it. I actually had two pieces, but I'm not going to chance my arm reading two. I'll just read the first one. This one was when I was thinking about her before she was ill, when she lived with me in Dublin. And she's about 25 or 26 at the time, and she came home with a few drinks in her, so. She appears in the doorway, radiant, smile illuminating. She sways slightly in the doorframe. I only had 2 drinks, she says. I never opened my mouth, I said. Time and again, this night returns to me. It was shortly before her illness. She had never been so beautiful, smiling, knowing, denial of drunkenness, denial of enjoying life. She never lost that love of living, love of enjoying life, and demands from all that she loves that they don't stop loving life on her account. She hides her illness so well. She denies her illness so well. It's as if it never existed. So thank you.
Thank you. We send out a lot of love and compassion for that journey we know you've been on. And yes, yes, yes. Well, we stay across the pond here with Mona Lynch joining us from Cork. Good evening, good evening.
Good evening, Sandy. And this poem is about crossing the pond, called In Darina Traw. In Darina Traw, I picked blackberries as fat as my thumb, reaching through the brambles, surrounded by praying hoverflies, abundant honeysuckles calling moths to take their fill, the boring awash with ground-facing fuchsia. Next morning, I flew over the Atlantic to a land where I lost myself in a new wonder. Woke to a background of crickets singing, while geese swooped, splash landing amongst the lily pads spread across Beaver Lake. A fawn wandered into view, eyeing me nervously, as the Long Island train snaked through the distant trees, its old-fashioned whistle hooting a warning. Later, on the beach, I gathered perfect shells, found smooth lilac and white wampum stones used once for money by the local Shinnecock tribe. I had never seen an owl up close, but as a pale, late sun poked through the clouds, I walked on an empty beach, listening to the lisp of a rippling tide. I saw a magnificent snowy white owl, a bird to be revered and protected. On my last day, nothing stirs on the lake as white cabbage butterflies nuzzle the damp throat of wild blossoms. We visit a field of sunflowers with strong green leaves and bright faces we are moved to see. Picking blackberries in thought, I make ready to return.
Wow, wow, that's Mona Lynch, everyone. I have to say, there is wonder in blackberries. There is wonder in honeysuckle, for sure, for sure. And there's wonder in crossing the pond back and forth. Kim and I know.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful. Well, we stay across the pond from where I am with Patrick Lodge next. Good to see you. Patrick, I haven't found my, I don't know where my hat is that I got. I don't know where my hat is that I got.
Well, you'll have to find
this
it.
is the one I got. Kim's
Yeah,
telling me that is
you're wearing it. You're wearing it.
Oh my God, I thought I bought another one. I guess this is the one. She's like, no, it's that one. Okay, great.
Okay, this poem's called Anea, and it's in with the theme of wonder. It's my latest granddaughter, and Anea is Sanskrit for gift from God, which she certainly is. So this is called Anea. How is it that this joyous beginning encourages thoughts of endings? Inevitable, I suppose. Holding you in two clumsy hands, only hours old, postpartum perfection emerging. It seems stages of this tour are completing, boxes being ticked, batons being passed on, though the cliches are a loose fit. Naked you may have come into this world, but never alone. As for me, I'll take my leave in old pajamas or a baggy hospital gown, knowing less than you do now, and who knows what draw I'll be at the final curtain. Here's me slowing down, humping the debris of decades. They were right when they sang it's a drag, but you, from that first slick slide into the light, into your becoming, can only accelerate from here. A million neural connections a second, sparking crosses in this synaptic bingo game. Your mouth already an O of wonder. Your eyes perfect sky, limitless. Going in and out to focus, looking for clues. Then suddenly staring, like it could, after all, make some sense. Here, let me look in my pack. Find my best day of the 25,000 odd I've managed to lose someplace. You can have it, Anea, a gift, something to start with. Thank you all.
So sweet, so beautiful. Wow, wow. That's Patrick Lodge, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And now we get to hear from Frederick Livingston. Thank you so much for being here, Frederick. I'm looking forward to your poem.
Yeah, I'm joining today from Belize.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Wi-Fi is great here. But maybe I'll read one poem from when I was, before I came here, I was working in environmental education in prisons. And so this is one from Warner Creek Correctional Facility in Lakeview, Oregon, so in Southern Oregon. It's called Watermelon Seeds. Entering the yard, the men rush first to melon mounds to see what seeds overnight unfurled, breaking raked earth. One stem bit clean of cotyledons, those trespassing rabbits. They admit occasionally hand feeding spare lettuce from sack lunch sandwiches, but scouring moist soil further, they discover another on the verge of germination, stake a crate to secure a taste of late summer sweetness. And in this mayhem, minutes pass before anyone notices. Look at us, a bunch of grown men getting worked up over little plants. Backs straighten, shoulders stiffen, wide eyes contract, and no more was said of wonder leaking through clouds that morning they allowed themselves to love.
Fantastic poem from Frederick Livingston. Kim gave the ecstatic motion that says right through the goalposts, right through the goalposts. Fantastic. Thank you for joining us from Belize. And you're right, the Wi-Fi is coming through loud and clear.
That's good.
Let's have more poets joining us from Belize, folks. Invite all your friends from Belize to come onto the program. Any and all are welcome. Thank you so much. And now we go to Shymala Dason. So good to see you. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear your poem.
Good to be here. Before I start, can I ask Patricia Clark, please put the info about your book in the chat, because I have to read those poems many, many, many times. I want to hang out with those oysters. Some of y'all will know the North Carolina poet, Karen Stewart. And she regularly posts on Facebook, her morning writing practice in the room that she writes in. So this is an ekphrastic on those photographs. And Karen's writing room photos. It is a window to heaven, waiting room and classroom of the way, grace-filled of morning light in a morning world, as deep as wandering deer from autumn woods for a heart mountain-rooted, tree-strong. Rooted as towering holly, cedar, oak, pine, hickory, beech, elm, sycamore, maple, poplar, golden light peeping through leaves and shadow of illness, grief, embrace, released, healed, by love, acceptance, gentle naughtiness, humor as delicate as birds' wings fluttering by mullioned window to peep at waiting table. Table set for daily creation, sustained by wisp of steam from cup of dreaming tea, awareness shaped and penned by daily faith, waiting for words, then speaking. Enough. This is enough. All is blessed and content. Seasons come and go like drifting leaves, but always, come morning, comes the light. Thank you.
Stunning. My gosh, everyone. You
Thank
are
you.
bringing the light to the poetry today. Thank you. Thank you so much. Shymala, that's beautiful. Wow. Oh my gosh. I do indeed feel wonderstruck. I do feel wonderstruck. I have to say. And now I'm gonna feel it again with Gail Ramsey Wharton. Hi, Gail. So good to see you.
Hi, Sandy. I have to unmute. So nice to see you, and it's just lovely to see and hear all of you. Sandy, this is a poem I wrote in one of your wonderful workshops in which the group picked a lot of words to write a Petrarchan sonnet. It doesn't have a title. On a given day, sometimes you want to break away and follow something unexpected, the way a hound might pick up the scent of a more enticing, bloody wound than the one he is supposed to track. A mistake? Stay true to the path you're on? Or remain awake to every temptation that might be found? To the first option, I expect to hear a resounding yes. Don't let some peripheral shiny object abate the soundness of your chosen course. At least this has the benefits of planning. For you might find the unforeseen is paved with broken glass and gravel. And yet, to be released from the expected could ignite unimagined wonderment or dangerous, wicked marvel.
Gosh, I love that dangerous, wicked marvel, the juxtaposition of that. It's so decadent. It's so decadent. I do remember the workshop very well, and I know that the poem that emerged for me was my poem about Lizzie Borden, All the Hatchets.
Yes.
I could hear those words. I could hear the words. Thank you for bringing that, and I hope to be doing another workshop in February in the Pacific Northwest. So,
Wonderful.
yeah. We hope there'll be some more wonderfulness there. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Well, now we move to Eelka Lampe. Great to have you with us again. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to hear what wonder you have to bring.
Thank you so much, Sandy. Could I share screen something? Can't hear.
Let's give it a try.
Okay. I'm going to share one poem from Hot Off the Press, Inspired by Art, which is an anthology, a collaboration between Olympic Peninsula authors and artists. Over 2+ years, we collaborated with painters, sculptors, and photographers. And this is the anthology. And so I'm going to share this one poem. Let me see whether I can share screen. The fractal art that I wrote this poem about is by Dan Brewer, called Hermit House. Let's see whether I can pull this up. It says host disabled, participant screen sharing.
I'm so sorry. Don is not with us today, so I'm so sorry
okay.
we won't be able to screen share.
All right, I'll
He's
see whether I
usually
can
our
show
wizard.
this to you for a moment before I read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Internal spaciousness. Purple teasing darkness. Hopi maiden's hair contained, echoing through celestial realms. Flower spirits spiraling up from the inside out. Sensed by mother whale in the highest ether, floating blissfully, lavender drenched, far away from any ocean harm. One sun's redeeming rays, baptizing her delicate crown and bathing her belly as blossoming kachinas multiply in lavender hues, upward and onward into eternity. Repetition and uniqueness. Creation is always both. Internal spaciousness, blooming in the smallest hut.
Oh, that is transcendent. That is transcendent. I love that. Please be sure to put the anthology in the chat for everyone. And I look forward to hearing more poems from that anthology. I'm definitely gonna look for it when I'm back out west in
It's available on Amazon. It comes up right away by the title. I put it in the chat.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Wow, I can't wait to get that anthology. Fabulous. Thank you for introducing it to me and to all of us here on Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. Folks, if you are watching live on Facebook or on YouTube, and of course, those of you here in Zoom, you already know that we have been in the extravagance of our Poets Focus today on the theme of wonder. Well, I know the next poet is wonderful because I've had the good fortune to spend time and spend time with her and her poems. Eelka even recently. So I'm so happy to see Kara Briggs with us today. Hello, my friend.
Hi, Sandy. Hi, everyone. Um, what a wonderful reading today. My poem is from my collection, Rivers in My Veins. And I will, didn't initially have the word wonder in it, but I will insert it because I think maybe if I were to revise the poem, I would put wonder in it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you don't have to, but like, yeah, that's funny. Okay,
no,
great.
it feels right. Like maybe I should have. So it's always good to have these revisions come to you after the book's in print. This poem is, I'll proceed. Siskiyou Pass.
This is her lower body. We're going to do Tabata style, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. And as far as her upper body,
go ahead. That we just muted someone. That's all. Interesting. Thank you. Sorry.
I love garage sales. Siskiyou Pass. Snow weighed down the sky as your car slid off the road. Fir trees festooned as if for Christmas blur in tear-filled eyes. Your wife and 3-year-old daughter snuggle in the back seat. You calculate silently how long before a warm car grows cold. The blizzard blown off the Pacific is fierce, but in the back seat, your wife reads a story about a boy who first gave names to animals. Your daughter says zebra, giraffe. Worry, you're familiar, creases your brow. Do you remember? A plow, an answer to unspoken prayer, appears brushing snow off Siskiyou Pass. Behind it, a stranger opens a car window and calls, "Need a ride?" Soon you and your family are tucked in his warm car traveling toward a slumbering town. So long ago, still I wonder. "Where you folks going?" the stranger asks. "Home," you say. The stranger's eyes fill with tears as he says, "I would be so happy if I could see my son's child." Outside the moon wanes in cloud breaks. Ice blue stars burn cold, snoring bears beneath snow drifts. I wonder. A motel owner woken from sleep seems yet to dream when he says, "Madonna and baby must be kept warm." You take the keys while the radio crackles more snow. "I'll get you a tow in the morning. That pass is no place for travelers tonight." He turns back to bed. Soon we are two to sleep, to dream, and not remember. In the morning, you call your dad. "We're safe from harm," you have shout in a payphone. "We'll be home waiting," the deep voice of your dad intones. "Pies are baking. Take your time. Be safe." For the first time in a long time, you think, "We'll be fine. Remember." In morning's dim light, this town treats strangers like family. It's a holiday when everyone wants to offer a helping hand. Outside, children wear homemade tasseled hats, coats pulled tight by mittened hands. Watching from our car window, I remember. Finally, we arrive, a familiar tree filled with light. Fire crackles behind. Your wife says, "Home is always now. And as long as we are together, we are far from harm." Siskiyou Pass. As I've read this, I've found that many people on the West Coast have had these troubles when they're going over Siskiyou Pass in the winter.
Yeah, the passes, there's a reason they're called passes. They're often unpassable. They are often unpassable. Oh man, I love that poem. Thank you so much. Yeah, to hear it is an entirely other thing than to read it, which both are fantastic in my mind. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I call Billy Possibility Brown, but today I'm just going to call Billy the wonderful Billy Brown because he is wonderful.
Can you hear me okay?
I can indeed. You sound great.
I'm having trouble hearing everyone else, but I can hear myself, and if you can hear me, I'll go ahead. So when I saw the theme Wonder, for those of you who know me, songs just pop into my head. Not new songs of my own, but songs I've sung before. So here's the song I decided to sing at least part of today in the spirit of the season. I wonder as I wander out under the sky, how Jesus the Savior did come for to die for poor ordinary people like you and like I. I wonder as I wander out under the sky. There's more, but I'll stop there. Thank you.
Yeah, my mom just said, I love that song. I love that song. It is the season of song as well as light.
And the season of wonder.
And the season of wonder. And now we go to the wonderful Kate Wegrzyn. That's a great segue. Hello, Kate.
Hello. I have joy in my heart. A dream awakens me with wonder. A memory jostles my heart. Oh, I've got to tell you, Dory. Then it hits me like a ton of bricks. Over time is now over, for visiting has passed, now becomes thoughts shared to the ethereal. Talking to the stars in wonder, this 1 year hit me strong, as if I had been holding all of my grief, which comes in waves at will. Love to my sister Dory.
Love to your sister Dory. Indeed. Love to your sister Dory.
Thank you.
Well, folks, we have done it. We have had the most wonder-filled Poets Focus on Wonder. It's the one and only one we've ever had. Maybe we'll have another. I have a feeling that our holiday poetry open house on the 15th of December to close out our 2024 season will also be wonderful, but it will not have the theme of wonder officially. But feel free to return and bring all your wonderful poems on December 15th. But before that, next Sunday is our final new book showcase of the new year. And folks, before I say that, I want to also acknowledge our November, our October, our September new book showcases. They were all off the charts, all off the charts. Kara's in the room. Phil was in the room. I think Phil's here. Yeah, our November, loved it. Janet and Joshua, Joshua November. I want to thank the four of you. And our final new book showcase of the year and of the 2024 season, we will be having Sophie Cabot Black Kai Coggin, Rachel Hegarty, and Marie Howe, who I just saw in Miami. So folks, cancel whatever plans you have next Sunday and come on back for that reading. Now, if you can't cancel those plans, of course, as you know, because of the dedication of Don, you can watch this amazing new book showcase on the recording. But I have a feeling some special magic is going to be occurring in the room live. So do try to be with us next Sunday for our penultimate reading of the 2024 season. And again, join us for our holiday poetry open house. It's our long-standing tradition now. They're always incredibly moving and wonderful and just full of the light of the season. Well, folks, before I say my final remarks, how about we unmute and show a little merriment for all the wonder that we've heard today. And while you're doing your hoots and hollers as you unmute, I will
Lovely.
You.
Bravo, bravo,
Very good.
bravo. Love it.
Thank you all.
Terrific. Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Sandy.
Thank you. We
Thank
heard
you.
at the top of the hour from Bill Nevins, Marjorie Maddox, David Brydges, Mary Louise Kiernan, Michael Macklin O'Mara, excuse me, Gary Lucero, Isaac Cohen, Patricia
Yeah.
Clark, Lynda V E Crawford, Kate Hannah Ortega, Karen Poppy, Joanne James, Gordon Ferris, Mona Lynch, Patrick Lodge, Frederick Livingston, Shymala Dason, Gail Ramsey Wharton, Eelka Lampe, Kara Briggs, Billy Brown, and Kate Wegrzyn. And again, folks, please do join us next week. Thank you so much for joining us for today. I've got chills, and it's not the chilly cold kind. It's the warm in my heart kind for our Poets Focus today on the theme of wonder. Thank you to Don Krieger and Kim Ports Parsons, especially to Kim for coming up with the theme for today's program. Again, it was inspired by this really wonderful anthology called The Wonder of Small Things, poems of peace and renewal, edited by James Cruz. You can get this as any of your bookstores here in the States, and also you can buy it online, of course. And folks, as I say at the end of the program, I've been saying this now for almost 5 years.
Oh, wait, you forgot something important, Sandy, before you close.
Oh, I did.
Not next week, but holiday poetry open house.
Yeah.
There will be 3 door prize giveaways.
Oh, correct. There's door prizes.
And 2 of those are copies of that anthology.
That is correct. That is correct. Thank you very much.
Aren't already motivated to come out in 2 weeks for our open house. Please mark your calendars and join us.
Right. Thank you for reminding me of that. Right. There are gift-aways coming up in 2 weeks. Not that the gift of poetry is not enough. Not that our voices are not enough, but this is the extra special shine of the light of the season. Well, and on that note, friends, I bid you a very good night, good day, rest of your day. Sun is setting here in the east on this side of the Atlantic Ocean. And a reminder to take very good care of yourselves. You know, we're in difficult times, everyone. We know that we're in difficult times wherever we are in the world. Things are heavy, but we do have the lightness of poetry and the lightness of community and the lightness of deep listening. We practice that here. So take good care of yourselves as you know how to do best. And often that includes poetry. Take extremely exquisite care of your beloveds. And of course, keep writing your wonder-filled poems. I'm Sandy Yannone, your host for Cultivating Voices Live Poetry. I bid you adieu. Be well, everyone.
And Sandy,
Yes.
you are the one who needs to stop the recording.
I stopped the live stream and I now hope to stop the recording. And the easiest way for me to stop the recording, folks, is for me to, oh, thank you, Billy. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you. The easiest way for me to stop the recording is to press end for today because I don't see where my record button is. That's how I'm gonna do it. It seems
Okay.
very abrupt, everyone. Thank you
Bye,
all
all.
for being here. Love you all. Be well. And we'll see you next week. You got it.